With the end of financial year just 2 weeks away, it really is crunch time for everyone keen to maximise their tax refund. And to give us some top tips on how to get the best return, financial advisor Olivia Maragna joins us in studio. Now, Olivia, a lot of people worry about this time of year, but really we should be, I guess, excited by it.
Well, I think it depends on how organised or disorganised you are with your paperwork. So if you're a little bit disorganised, it's probably a dreaded time of year. But certainly for someone who's a little bit more organised, this is a time to plan, to try and maximise your tax refund, but also to plan what you're actually going to do with that tax refund. So whether it's going to be paying off some debt, maybe some credit cards, or even starting an investment portfolio or topping up that emergency fund. So an exciting time.
And do you think many of us aren't getting back as much as we could?
Well, I think you don't know what you don't know, and this is the hard thing with tax, is most people don't actually understand tax. So I think the important thing is you need to actually understand various different things around tax, like your incentives. So first of all, is there something that you can actually obtain from an incentive? So things like a spouse contribution, where you've got a non-working spouse or a low-income spouse, you can contribute into their super fund and get a nice extra tax refund in your tax return. So that's a tax rebate. You can also top up your own super and get the government to actually top up your super fund. So that's another way to obviously maximise it. But you've also got to keep in mind, I think, there are new rules around superannuation that have only started this financial year that most people don't know about, and that's where you can actually claim your own tax deductions for extra that you're putting into your super as well. So check your eligibility there. But I think also people just don't really understand what tax deductions are around for them. So check out the Australian Taxation Office website, lots of resources on there to look at what your tax deductions could be.
Because if you can get a deduction, now's the time to buy some of those things so that you get money back pretty much straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the key things to try and maximise your tax refund, is to bring forward your expenses. So if you know your income is around about the same this year and what it will be next year, bringing forward some expenses is certainly going to add to your tax refund. So that's a really key measure to keep in mind. But also in terms of, like I mentioned with that superannuation, a simple example, someone on $60,000 throwing an extra $5,000 into superannuation will give them an extra $1,500 to $2,000 in a tax refund. So really good incentives there as well. But also just keep in mind really basic things around capital gains tax and capital losses. So if you've realised a capital gain this financial year, so whether you've sold some shares or maybe an investment property, one of the best ways to minimise your tax payable or boost your tax refund is to look at the rest of your investments, see maybe if there's some losses in there as well. Realising those losses are certainly going to help to reduce that tax bill or increase that tax refund.
All right, so maybe a little bit of reading on the ATO website, but it'll go a long way in terms of dollars back for us.
Absolutely.
All right, Olivia, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Queensland is watching the #1 news hour.